In this video, a ton of Pokemon cards sold. I'm going to show you what sold, how much it sold for, and some low-hanging fruit for the Pokemon cards that sell well. So let's do it. Pokemon cards are out of control and selling for huge money right now. Let's see some of the Pokemon cards that I'm selling right after this. So I've been listing Pokemon cards like crazy. Actually, Brother Dave takes the pictures and uploads those, and then I go through and finalize. And he had some time and listed a bunch of pictures. So all of these cards are listed. And then I still have all of these singles to finalize. And then a bunch more over here, mostly in lots. And the prices on them are insane. I've been holding on to a lot of Pokemon cards, and I think that the price right now, it's not gonna get much higher than this if I had to guess. Though it might for certain cards. I've already sold a pretty good stack of a lot of, I had a lot of first edition Shadowless base set cards, which I got at Goodwill in a binder for like $5. One of my greatest finds of all time. I actually have a video of that. Maybe I'll link that in the description below. And I'll also link the Charizard binder below. Two of my greatest Pokemon find videos of all time. So I'm gonna screenshot these because these ones I already shipped off yesterday. They sold over the weekend and I just wanted to get them out. But Porygon first edition, 20 bucks, and shipping is in addition to all of these. Rocket's Hitmonchan Holo for 20 bucks. Jinx first edition for 35. Magmar first edition for 20. Seal first edition for 20. Eevee Blackstar promo for 10, kinda undersold that one. Machamp first edition Shadowless, it is the legit first edition, not the repack. They put first edition on every Machamp. But that one sold for 40. Poliwhirl first edition sold for 25. Abra for 20. Mewtwo Blackstar promo, actually pretty uncommon card, sold for 22. Slowking sold for 15. Caterpie sold for 20. Nidorino sold for 20. Victini Full Art sold for 15. And then a Squirtle first edition sold for 80. And then my favorite and best sale, the Charmander first edition, decent condition, not 7, 8, 9, 10 material, but it sold for $150, which is incredible. Ancient Mew sold for 15, and Dugong sold for 20. A lot of times when people see these videos, they say, why didn't you get the cards graded? They could have been worth so much more. And I totally agree if they were in great shape, but in my opinion, it's not really worth getting a card graded if it's going to get less than an 8. As far as Pokemon cards go, you might as well sell it raw, because I think you'll get more for it raw versus like a PSA 6 or 7 or 5 or 4, you know. So that's my thought process there. Let me know what you guys think about that. But let's keep going through some card sales. So we got another Eevee, and this one I sold for a little bit more, $12.99. This Deoxys. I remember when these cards were like $10, maybe. You'd be lucky to get $10. These sold to the same buyer, $50 a piece. I'm very happy with that. And then these sold to the same buyer. They're both German. So one is the Dragonite, and that one sold for $20. The Blissey, the first edition, Neo Revelations, so that sold for $50. And I did combine shipping for these multiple card orders. So I had a second Squirtle, first edition Shadowless. This one has a lot of condition issues, creased, so that's crazy that that still sold for $80 with the condition, but it's one of those just very, very hot first edition cards right now. And then I sold all 3 of the Digletts first editions. One sold for 25, and then 2 sold for, I believe, 20. And then the Ghastly, also first edition, sold for 20. So those are definitely the cards that are selling the fastest, are the first edition Shadowless, which makes sense because they're pretty in the news, pretty hot right now. But sold the Southern Island Mew for 50, which is a great sale. Sold the Registeel Gold Star. Some of you might remember this came out of the binder for the garage sale callback. One of the best cards in the binder, got 140 bucks. It does have corner wear that's pretty notable, and the buyer even messaged to double check, and I was very clear, it's got wear, it's got edge wear. They still bought it for 140 bucks. In every single description of these cards, I just said, I'm liquidating Pokemon cards. I said all cards have some degree of wear. Please look closely at all pictures before buying. Some have minor wear, some have major wear. I'm telling every buyer that, because I want to make sure they look closely at the pictures. The pictures are good. Brother Dave did a great job, natural light pictures, and you can see them really well. Take this as a PSA, a public service announcement, that Pokemon cards are just out of control. I've been saying it. It's crazy. Prices are skyrocketed. In my opinion, it's time to sell. I think it's a speculative bubble. Pokemon cards are crazy. If you have them, get them sold. If you're not looking for them, start looking for them. Yeah, that's it for today's sales, but I think I'm gonna bring you guys along for the week of Pokemon card sales, just to give a good idea of what they're selling for right now. And yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow for the sales then. Okay guys, so I'm gonna jump in right here to give away this Hidden Fates Gyarados tin, as promised in the Target video. Talked about giving away this tin in the Complete Pokemon Cards base set video, which I actually traded a Nintendo Switch for. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. Give a lot of tips on Pokemon cards and what ones to sell, which I also did in this video. But we got it queued up. We're gonna pick a random commenter. There were 345 unique comments. The one stipulation was that you needed to comment your favorite or first Pokemon game. So let's hit it. So the winner is Michael Hall, as long as he commented, and he did. Crystal version was the comment. So Michael Hall, please message me on Facebook or Instagram, and you will be the winner of this lovely tin. So yeah, that is it for this portion. Congrats, Michael. It is now Wednesday, and a bunch more Pokemon cards sold. So I have a bunch listed. This stack, and this stack are all singles. So there's still probably 100 singles, and then all of these are lots, smaller lots that are pretty nice. And then this is what I sold yesterday. So some of these I do wonder if I underpriced a little bit, but overall when I was pricing, I priced on the higher end. So I think the demand is just so ridiculously high that people are just buying like crazy. The most notable lot to the same person, they bought all 4 of my Dark Charizards. All of them are non-holo. All of them have at least minor condition issues. That one's also got a Dark Blastoise. That was a lot. So I sold the lot of 2 for 40. I sold 2 of them for 25 because they have a good bit of condition issues. And then I sold the one that was in better condition for 40 by itself. They paid like close to $4 shipping on each lot. I'm gonna refund everything beyond $4 that they paid for shipping. Umbreon and Espeon from I believe it's Neo Discovery, non-holo, sold for $18. And keep in mind, shipping is always in addition to these prices. This is Electrode and Kangaskhan from Jungle Set Holos, sold for $20. Dratini, first edition Shadowless, pretty happy with this sale at $50. That one was in pretty good shape, so I marked it pretty high. Blaine, Trainer Holo. I remember when these cards weren't even really worth anything, like 2 years ago. And that one sold for $15. Aerodactyl, Reverse Holo, sold for $8. Dark Alakazam for $20. Pikachu, sold. This is a secret rare. That one sold for $30. Dark Dragonair has, I believe this one has maybe it doesn't have creases. Maybe that's why that one sold quicker than the other ones. So yeah, that one sold for $40, but it still does have condition. So like, keep in mind, none of these would grade a mint or better in my opinion. But these ones were in maybe 7 or 8 gradable condition. Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon, beautiful hollows. Absolutely love those cards. They sold for $70. Now again, I remember when these cards here were like, maybe you're lucky to get $5 a piece. And I just sold the 3 of them for $70. So that's why I'm pulling the trigger right now, guys, because Pokemon cards are just out of control. There's hype, there's demand, it's craziness. This Ho-Oh got a regular one and then a first edition German, both non-hollow, and they sold together for $35. Pretty happy with that sale. And then this one I must have underpriced because I just listed it like 5 minutes ago this morning, and it sold. It's just a lot of like, there's a couple reverse hollows, one promo, and then a bunch of like just base set, jungle set, Pikachus. So vintage. There's 38 of them, and they sold for $30 plus shipping. I'm still pretty happy with that, but I think I will continue to make Pikachu lots if they can sell that well, because Pikachus are everywhere. I love teaching you guys about little things that I know about certain categories, the low-hanging fruit as I call it. So I'm gonna go over a couple of those things real quick, things that you can look for in the wild when you're seeing Pokemon cards, if you're going through a binder or whatever. So right here on the left side in the middle, that's where the first edition stamp is going to be. If you see that, the card is way more likely to be worth money. It doesn't guarantee that it will be, but it definitely increases the chances. On base set first edition, it will also be shadowless, which means there's no shadow to the right of the picture of the Pokemon. And you can see on this Ho-Oh, the shadow is to the right, but on a base set first edition, it's also shadowless, and there's no shadow. So those are things to look for there. Those, you're not gonna find those often. First edition shadowless cards, there's a reason they're worth money. They are very uncommon. Another thing to look for is EX cards, especially the silver ones like this. That's more of the older EX, like this one's from 2007. This Snorlax is like a $200 to $250 card. EX from 2004. I would say in the bottom of the card, in the middle, you can see the year. Might be hard to see it on camera, but this one is 2007. I would say 2008 and older, especially if hollow, you've got a pretty good chance of being worth money. That's kind of on the vintage end. 2004 and older, you're really looking good if you find a hollow. Vintage is usually where the money is on average. I mean, there's definitely modern cards that are worth big money as well. So yeah, basically you guys should know the hollows, the shiny cards, those are always the first ones you should look up. These E-series ones with the beautiful lines on the left and the bottom, I love the design on these cards. And then the E in the bottom left hand corner, those are big ones to look for. Those are going to be worth money. Same, like this Charizard's the same kind of thing. Too bad it's creased. You can see another like E on that Charizard. Those are good ones. Another rule of thumb, Charizard, this is one you probably know, but any Charizard has a great likelihood of being worth pretty good money. So yeah, those are kind of my little notes for Pokemon cards. That's not everything, but that's definitely a good synopsis of quick things that you can look for when you're out and about. So take note of these things, and hopefully you guys can get some Pokemon scores as well. But right after this clip, I'll see you guys for the sales that happen tomorrow. So the third day of Pokemon card sales, the highlight is a massive order of one person. They ordered like a dozen different listings, maybe more. So they got to pay $4 shipping flat, and I refunded all of the rest of it. So I sent them a refund of like $60 for all the extra shipping they paid. But I'm still very happy. It'll still cost me around $4 to ship. So we have Dark Dragonite. There's a non-holo and a holo. Sold for $35. Got 44 unknown cards. I just figured I had a whole bunch of them, including a couple first editions and reverse holos. That sold for 20 bucks. I think on my lots of cards like that, I sold the Pikachu really fast as well. I think I'll price those a little more aggressively, price them a little bit higher. Deoxys, lot of 3, sold for 13. Got a Ditto and Muck from the Fossil set, and those sold for 20. I'm just really happy with the prices I'm getting for these things. Like Sabrina's Gengar, $45. That is amazing. Definitely hype generated. Dark Machamp sold for 15. Rocket's Moltres sold for $35. This is one of those examples where my laziness in listing Pokemon cards has actually paid off, because if I would have listed them 2 years ago, would have gotten less than half of what I'm getting now, so pretty happy. Cloyster Reverse Holo from the Expedition set sold for 10. This one is actually one of my listings that's been on for over a year, and it sold. So $17 for these. It's like an Unseen Forces holo lot, with the staple being Feraligatr and Poliwrath. Here's the Suicune cards for 12. There's 2 of them, a promo and a regular rare. Lieutenant Surge's Raichu for 30. So the gym leader cards are selling really well. Here's another example of Giovanni's Gyarados for 45. This is the cheapest sale, I believe, a Ho-Oh for $7.99. Azumarill, Neo Genesis, beautiful card, sold for 15. Clefable for $10. And then the last one from this order is Hypno Reverse Holo. Aquapolis, that sold for 15. So that's all of the stuff from that person's order. Quite an epic order. It's like over $300. So pretty happy with that. And then the best sale of the day yesterday is the first edition Shadowless Beedrill. Sold for 90 bucks. This guy does have some condition issues, as mentioned in the description. But still sold for 90. And then Mew, regular old rare from Expedition, sold for 15. So that's it. That's all the sales. Pokemon cards are hot. If you're not on it, at least start looking for them. If you see them out in the wild especially, they're going to be worth picking up in most cases. So thank you guys for watching this one. Let me know if you liked it, if you learned something. Hit that like button if you made it this far. I would really appreciate it. And why not? So we'll see you guys next time, every Friday and Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern.